We're going to count score here this morning, give you an update on red versus blue in the middle of the chart. Thomas Miller. Hey, welcome in on the Tuesday, November 28th edition of the Fun Astrology Podcast. As you are waking up this morning, Mars will precede the sun directly before its rise in the sky. So that means Mars is the oracle planet, has been since at least the moon came through. So that is one element of potential conflict in today's chart. It's also an aspect of opportunity and initiation, power and thrust. Something has become very clear during these readings that I've been doing, that Mars represents two distinct things. Mars represents conflict and challenge, power, thrust, momentum, force, initiation, intensity. And where it shows up in your chart, in some kind of way or another, you have pretty high odds that one of those two are going to show up in your life as a continuing theme in that area or related to the aspects of that area. So here we have the days beginning right now, and this will remain until Mercury retrograde recatches the sun and overtakes it as the oracle planet for a short time, and that will be later in December. That will put Mercury retrograde as the oracle planet of the day. And some of you have asked about readings. I'm going to resume them in January. We'll be booking in January for starting early in February, but I'm going to open it up to actually expand it to some other things. So we'll tell you about that in about a month. Now, what do we have in the sky? We have a Gemini moon. So let's talk about the moon first and our little following the moon to its void of course and the aspects thereupon. We have several today, but the one that I would mostly point out is at 12:54 today Eastern Time. So that's noon 54. That's a trine from the moon to Venus. That's an air trine. Moon in Gemini, Venus in Libra at home. That is the most favorable aspect before the moon goes void of course at 8:03 this evening. That is an opposition to Mercury. So if you want to take an action and have nothing happen from it, there you go. Anything after 8:03 p.m. Eastern. And then the moon goes home tomorrow morning, early, 1:53 a.m. It will enter Cancer. And did you see that big, beautiful full moon last night? Oh, I know some of you have gotten some pictures on our Facebook group. They are gorgeous. I got to see it driving through the mountains last night as it came up over the hill. It was like, oh, that was so beautiful. So that sets you up if you're following the moon around and you want it on your side today. Now let's talk about the rest of the aspects in the sky. And there are more squares and oppositions than there are sextiles and trines. No exact aspects today. The one that we're building toward is tomorrow. Venus will conjoin the south node of the moon. Let's talk about that tomorrow. Today, I just wanted to do an overview because there are several. So the Sun and Mars in Sagittarius, in the early degrees of Sagittarius. Mars is at 2 degrees. The Sun is at 5 degrees. That is one tense aspect over to Saturn. Now, it's pulling apart. They're leaving, but it still is in the space. That was the one aspect on Saturday. So for several days prior to that, late last week, we were applying to Mars and Saturn being in a square. I got word early just this morning that one of our wonderful listeners' mom passed away. Not unexpected, but still. And if you're catching this, our love to you and your family. And we're praying for you and giving you a big old Fun Astrology hug. But you know, in the big spectrum of life, there you go. There's a tense aspect between the two malefics on a full moon weekend. A precious soul went home. Neptune is also throwing off 2 squares, so thus, hence, a T-square. Neptune is at the top. One leg goes to the moon. The other goes to Mercury. That puts the moon and Mercury in a wide opposition to each other. That one right there is unclear thinking. Neptune in Pisces, the moon in Gemini, both divided signs. You see how you could have a divided mind about just about anything? And then Mercury, the monkey mind, confused. And perhaps a little emotional today with the moon opposite of it. Those are the tense aspects. The one positive also involves the moon, and we've already mentioned it. It's the moon in that air trine with Venus. So here's kind of the read of the day. Because the moon is going home tomorrow, it will be in Cancer. If you have the ability today, lay low wherever you can. Soft touch, encouraging words, avoiding conflict, a soft touch, a word of encouragement. And if you don't have to make a big major decision today, put it off until the moon goes home. You'll have a lot better friend on your side than with this divided Gemini. I do hope that helps, and we will be back tomorrow, and I do want to pick apart that Venus conjoining the south node of the moon. Got some thoughts on that we'll share tomorrow. I love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful day, and yes, encouraging words. Mwah! See you back tomorrow.